No, that'd be right.
So, sit yourself in.
Joe, what I'm going to try and do is light you up from the inside. So if you can just hold on to this and just kind of point it up at you, and it's going to do nothing. Hang on. Yeah, it's going to flash. So.
Right. Do you want me to look at it or?
And you look at me. Yeah, that'll be fine. Thank you.
Do you want that on, or do you want this light on?
Actually, you could probably turn that light off, actually, for effect. Yeah, that's looking great. That's exactly what I want. It's a bit hard. Actually, just turn on while I can focus, actually. Right, okay. Switch it off. That's exactly what I wanted. That's really good. The last couple, just button up a bit. Come on.
Your height. You want us to just stand against the board over there with your feet right back against those plates? That this way? Yeah, so your heels against the plate. Okay, stand straight and look up a little bit. That's it, hold it there.
That's great.
More breaths. When you're feeling comfortable, take a real deep breath, put it into your mouth and breathe out as fast as you can, as long as you can. Okay. Right, and you're going to have a nose clip on as well while you're doing it. Okay. Alright, so do you want to just hold that? I'll get you a nose clip. So if you can put your nose clip on your nose. Yep. So hold that. Take a few natural breaths. When you're ready and feel comfortable, take a deep breath. Put it into your mouth. Breathe out as hard as you can, as long as you can. Hard, hard. Come on. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Right, Lorraine, Cheltenham Town have been here using the facilities at Oxtall's this morning. Can you just tell me a bit about what they've done and what you'd be able to gauge from the results?
Yeah, so we've been talking to Cheltenham Town coaching staff for the last 2 months or so, and they were interested to use our facilities to measure their performance, let's say. So we agreed to come just before when the pre-season started, which they started yesterday, I believe, to do a little bit of fat percentage measurements on this capsule, let's say, called the bod pod. So they had some allocated times to come in groups of 3 or 4, which the test took like 15 minutes or so, and we measure the percentage of fat they have in their bodies. So they might look skinny, but it might have like higher percentage of fat of those that maybe are a bit heavier, but they have more muscle, which weighs a little bit more. After all the bod, which we ask them not to drink any water prior to the test for 2 hours, and they have to wear like certain clothes to go to try to be as accurate as possible. They all hung around, and we went to the sports hall to do the endurance test, let's say, which we changed from last year's test to the yo-yo intermittent recovery test. So the test, just you have to run 20 meters each way, so 40 meters in total. But after you completed the 40 meters, you got 10 seconds rest for every single 40 meters you do. So that's the incentive for the players, as in, every time you run, you got some rest. Can you run again? And so they carry on there. We, with the coaching staff, we set a target to reach certain level according to the data that we have from previous years, and they all went past that level. And in fact, some of the players, they just went to the very end of the test, showing that they are still quite fit, even though they had a break of probably a month or so after the season finished. So pretty pleased with the results today.
Yeah, so it's definitely more football related than the aero test, this yo-yo test. Yeah,
so the aero test, it was just like 20 meters there and back in a continuous pace with no rest and just like touching the lines. The increase obviously, the speed obviously increases, but it was a bit flat, let's say, a continuous pace. With the yo-yo test, even though the speed, it increases as well, but it means it's a higher speed, so it's a little bit more higher intensity interval, sort of short sprints, and then you have a little bit of rest or recovery for 10 seconds, and then you have to go again. So it's a bit of interval training over a period of time, so we try to keep them there for around 10-15 minutes or so.
Yeah, 3 of them actually got to the end. Have you ever seen that happen before?
No, we were actually quite concerned that with our tables about how many shuttles there were left and the distance they had covered, and we were coming to the end and we were a bit, well, I don't know if the tape actually is gonna carry on or what we're gonna do, but yeah, we reached the end. So this is the level 1 that we did today, potentially thinking of maybe implementing the level 2 in 4 weeks' time, when they're gonna revisit us again just before they start the season. So we have to transfer some values from the level 1 to the level 2 to compare what they should have been if they would have done today the level 2. But I think they show they're on top form, even though after the summer break, and I think they can carry on with the level 2.
Yeah. So the 4 weeks they'll come back. What are you expecting to see? Massive improvement in that time from 4 weeks intensive training?
Well, we'll have to check again the values that they got today and transfer those to the values that they would have predictably get on level 2. And then from there we can see if actually they can go a little bit higher up. So Sam Deering was one of the last ones in that group, and I think he was actually quite comfortable running in there. It might be more related to his fitness or his type of footballer, but I think he could go a little bit farther as well. So not sure about massive improvement, but definitely we should expect at least those 4 players to carry on in the same level, and the ones that dropped before to maybe drop at a later stage.
Yeah. So when they come back, you're going to do a few other different tests as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
What sort of things are they going to measure?
Yeah. So because this was the second day of pre-season, really, they just wanted to keep that simple. A little bit of body percentage and fat to see how they've been behaving in this off-season time, and then check the aerobic capacity as well. When they come in 4 weeks time, we're gonna do probably the same, even though at the beginning we didn't agree to do the bod again, but I think we're gonna do that again, and then we're gonna measure the flexibility, the vertical jump or power in the legs, agility, sprints, and also again the aerobic capacity with the yo-yo test.
Yeah, and then will they come during the season as well? Is that the plan?
Yeah, we haven't agreed any dates because obviously fixtures change and you may be playing, I don't know, different cups, etc. So we haven't agreed yet which dates they would come. But the idea is to come at least once before Christmas, maybe once after, maybe depending on how they're doing in the playoffs, and hopefully one at the very end to see if there's any drop in the performance because the season has been quite long, depending on injuries, etc.
Yeah, but as far as this morning's gone, they've all done pretty well, do you think?
Oh yeah. I think the coaching staff were quite pleased with the numbers that we're hitting. So and so we I've never reached the final stage of any of these bleep tests, so it was quite pleased to know that they were quite fit.
Okay, thanks, Lorraine.
Thank you.